Welcome to another edition of the Postgame Wrap. I'm Jarret Johnson, and surprise, surprise, Oklahoma blew out Texas Tech. I think we all saw it coming. Perhaps it was more than even I was expecting. I had it 40-something to 20-something, and it was 50-something to 20-something. It was 52-21. Sooners just demolished Texas Tech there in Norman. It was never really a game. It was never really competitive. I guess maybe in the first quarter it was a little bit. There's a reason why the Red Raiders made a coaching change. They're not a good team right now. And Oklahoma is a good team. This isn't even like an especially great Oklahoma, but it's still undefeated, top 5 Oklahoma. And they did what they do to Texas Tech. It was just, I can go into X's and O's and yada yada, but they were just outmanned and, just dominated in the trenches really. And then the quarterback play. There's just no comparison between Caleb Williams, OU's quarterback, he looked like Patrick Mahomes back there. Threw for over 400 yards and as many touchdowns as he wanted, it seemed like. And Henry Colombi, who got benched for Donovan Smith. And I tell you what, Donovan Smith wasn't perfect. He looked like a freshman at times, but he looked pretty good. He could throw on the run, which I think you need to be able to do. But he could run and move the chains. He was pretty accurate. There was a couple passes he was a little off, but to me, you could clearly see the future is Donovan Smith or perhaps Baron Morton, but it's not Henry Colombi. Let's hope that Donovan Smith gets the start next week or in a couple of weeks when Iowa State comes to Lubbock. So next week, Texas Tech is mercifully off. I think we all could use a little bit of a break from the actual games. It's been rough. The last month, the only win has been Kansas. So this is a tough game. I thought Sonny Cumbie, one of the ways you can really affect things as a coach is just clock management and everything. And Tech struggled there at the end of the first half. The clock ran out. They didn't even get a field goal. Not that it really mattered. They lost by 30 points. So, but still, you'd like to see him do a better job and manage the game there. So that was not good. The kicker didn't even know he was supposed to run out there. And, bottom line is, it seems like, you know what, we'll go to the bye, and they'll come back, and we'll see what they do against Iowa State, a team that's owned them as well. They won the last 5 games by average of 17 points or something like that. So Iowa State has owned Texas Tech under Matt Campbell. Let's see if Sonny Cumbie and the Red Raiders can change that, because they sure as heck didn't do anything different than what we've seen the last decade or something against Oklahoma. It was an ugly, ugly game. It was watching that game and having to watch it was like for any old timers out there like me watching Clockwork Orange, where the guy's eyelids were held open, taped open, and he had to watch these terrible images. I'm not digging ditches. I'm not complaining about my job, and I put job in air quotes, but having to sit through that entire game was torture because it was embarrassing. Tech looked terrible. Oklahoma, there was all this celebration for Oklahoma. It was just, good night. But the game's over. I do feel like, I know they got crushed, but I felt like they played hard. Donovan Smith was a bright spot. J.J. Sparkman was a bright spot. They got the running game going a little bit. So, okay, that's another bright spot. Tyree Wilson made a couple of plays, but not enough. Nobody on defense made enough plays. And that's really about it. Everything else was pretty negative. And that's how you get beat 52-21. So, I'm not surprised at all. This is what I was expecting pretty much. We'll just have to see what they come up with in the bye week, but hopefully that entails Donovan Smith taking over as the starting quarterback and see what he can do. So we'll see what happens. Mighty Joe and I are also going to do a podcast, so look for the Day After podcast on Sunday. So with that, I want to thank you for watching, and until next time.